Hey there, welcome back guys. Today we're going to be going over the Pavo25 version 2. We're going to be covering the good, the bad, the ugly. Is it pilot error? Was it me or is it you? I don't know. Should we just take the blame and own up to it? Or we just go over everything to see, basically share the good, the bad, the ugly about this drone. It does fly really well. It's smooth sailing. As for its durability, it's fair, it's okay. But as you can see here, we're just going to cover everything on how exactly that happened. All right, so without any further ado, let's get started. All right, so yeah, this is it right here. Unfortunately, this piece, the gimbal held up, right? And it's really resilient. No damage done to the DJI gimbal. And some of you might be on the fence with this, right? But this actually, the UV protector actually works well because, as you can see, that would have probably been the O3 air unit, and the O3 air unit's intact. But unfortunately, let's see if we can take this thing off. I put this thing on thinking it would help. Maybe it did help, right? Maybe it helped a little bit, not a lot, to help save things, to help save the gimbal from actually falling apart and breaking into little tiny pieces. Unfortunately, I don't think this will work. I'll have to get another piece, but I believe this one would work there. No, it doesn't work there. Which one will work there? That one works there, but I have a screwdriver that'll actually take that off so that we can share with you guys the pieces. Welcome back. Alright, so unfortunately, it's a bummer too, because I've crashed many drones. I've crashed the Ibotta many times. It's pretty resilient. As for this is alright. Not so resilient. But, you live and learn. I'll share with you that flight. Oh, there we go. That takes care of that. And it's not really... It's in there, but not really in there. Gotta watch out for that cable. There we go. So, and of course welcome back to everything that glitches. My screwdriver fell apart as I was unscrewing the Pavo. I don't have the other piece, but I'll share with you if you had seen my other video on why it took a while for me to put this piece on, the Pavo Pico, the piece that's holding together the air unit. So this part right here, is it that part? Yeah, this part. Apparently it was like one side was right, and one side was left. So that's why I had trouble screwing it in. But I managed to screw it in. But even though it was two different sides when it comes to the threading, that was not the issue of why it broke. It's not a very strong piece of plastic. So, on impact, it's not gonna, it's not gonna hold. It's like you can break this with your fingers. But the frame, oh, actually, here you go. The frame to this thing is phenomenal because it's fiberglass, similar to the other ones. But if they had somehow done it so that, I'm sure you can jerry-rig it so that the piece, can somehow be stable again, the O3 air unit. But I wouldn't recommend flying it again without the UV protector, so that if you do, here's the other part. If you do accidentally crash this part, so one part was that way and one part was that way, so it was like flipped on the other side. It wasn't the same, so I had trouble threading it. But that wasn't why it broke. It broke because I crashed, right? But you would think that the part would just be a little bit stronger, that you wouldn't be able to break it, you know. But the things happen. Has you know, whether you're new to FPV or you're a veteran and you've been flying forever, you know, everyone crashes. The thing is, you know, how will you crash? What will happen when you crash? And the frame is phenomenal on this thing. The frame is stronger than the parts that hold together the gimbal, because so that's good. This thing, I don't know. It's the part that holds on your what do you call it? Your FPV camera. I wouldn't recommend. If you're an experienced pilot, yes, go for it. Put this thing on. But the durability of this thing, I wouldn't recommend it. This one that I bought from Amazon that goes on my action camera when I'm not flying is stronger. This piece right here. Like, I would rather have a mount that could strong like that. You know, pretty resilient on my drone than that one. Unless, like I said, if you're an experienced pilot. But if you're new and you know you may crash, or you know you're gonna crash, then I would not recommend. But you could put it on. Like, I kept it on there to help protect the gimbal, but didn't really work out. My gimbal, DJI made a really good O3 Air unit with its gimbal. All right, so now we have the unit here, as you can see, right? So the only fault, there were a lot of issues I have with this drone, other than it not being durable enough. The motors are strong. The motors do create a nice flow. This is a simple fix. It's like a $20 fix or less. You know, maybe I can find a part online, because it's just the part that holds the camera. And for me, actually, I'm just going to fly it in an open field rather than around the house, because I'm not there yet. So the issue I have is, so if you want to access your SD card, you can't, because it's basically in there. It's sandwiched in there, and the only way, see your SD card, to access it is to open the bottom. So you have to drop the bottom. If you want to flash the flight controller, you can't. I can't even get this in there, believe it or not. Oh, I can show you here. I can't even get that in there without, you know, and I'll prove to you, because the proof is always in the pudding. But other than that, the unit's intact. Everything else works. For after the crash, its casing is amazingly strong. Just what the part that's protecting the gimbal isn't. So even you would have to make this shorter in order to get this in there. So let's say, actually, why not make it shorter now, right? Before we take it apart again. So as you see, it just won't. And the reason why it won't is because, as you can see, the motor is in the way. But we could fix that. We could see, like, it just won't. But we can fix that easily by shaving off some of the rubber around here. And as you can see, it's like dipped in it, so it's not gonna hurt it or damage things, you know, things any more than what they are. And I'm not sure if it was because I used a GEP RC battery. Things were just so amazing with the flight. A little laggy, a little stallish, but you know, that's because we had the rate set a little bit slower. So for this, we're going to use just an X-Acto blade that I use for sculpting when I'm not flying drones. I'm working with clay, and with clay it's great because you get many takes, you know. Let's just try and see if we can cut around it so that we can take off that rubber, right? And once we take off the rubber piece that's around the cable, right, we can remove what'll give us a better angle, better, like, let's say we won't be able to go 90 degrees, right? But we'll be able to go more degrees than we can in our we should be able to. And you should, thankfully, this is an old cord, so I don't mind you know, sacrificing it for the sake of trying to get into the SD card slot on an FP3 drone. So I personally, I would get, if you're going to buy an FPV drone ready to bind and fly, get BRC 20. It comes with the O3 air unit in. I've crashed it many times. And the gimbal protector, I believe, is surrounded by fiberglass, which is great because you want that. You don't want your gimbal surrounded by plastic, right? So I think now we should be able to get the get into the O3 air unit. After we get this thing up, we should be able to create somewhat of a 90-degree angle. See, look at that. Now it bends. You know, it doesn't look so pretty. I mean, we think we did a pretty good job, right? Looks better now. And in case those of you who are wondering, where's 90 degrees? So we have north, and then 90 degrees would be like that. See, it would just bend more into 90 degrees. This came in handy when you go for your Part 107. If you're flying at 90 degrees, what's the speed or whatever? I forget what it was called. They have these charts in there. I actually will put together a video for those that want to do their recurrent Part 107. This year I have to renew it. So I figured after I start now, and I'll be able to refresh it. I took it after I got my Part 107 just to get an idea of what it's like. I wish the Part 107 exam was just as easy as the recurrent exam. It was just phenomenal. It was just so easy, but I guess they did that on purpose. Anyway, so as you can see, now I have to try and get this in there, but it should work thanks to the jerry rigging. Whoops. So let's try. See, it fits in much better. Make sure, you just want to make sure it's at the right side up, upside down, right side up, right side down. And as you can see, I'm having trouble. If you watch my other video, you will also see that I had to take off the motor to literally get access to this. You can literally, I don't think it's gonna work. Almost got it. Come on, you got it. Nah. I should just, is that right? Yeah, that is the right angle. It's just so tricky. Whoops. It's okay. Well, I need to get a longer cord for this. It's not me, it's you. For that, I can pull that out. Right? And then I can just try to put it in. That's how complicated this is. Forget about flying and crashing. This is just so that you can flash it. Let's say I want to flash it, right, and just get some, change my PIDs. Good luck with that, because, nope. Got it. So I had to cut it, and eventually I got it in. As you can see, it's in there, but the angle is not the best, not optimal. As you can see, it folds around. You'd have to find a shorter USB-C thing. As you can see, that's the slack that you're left with, if you can somehow see. I'll overexpose that. All right, so that's that. So let's see if I can connect to Betaflight. Oh, it should connect to Betaflight, but it won't because we don't have power. Now, which one do I disconnect? Camera 1, camera 2. Do I have any other ports? Bummer. I believe I'm all out of ports, so I can't connect to Betaflight. But I'll have to get a port adapter or something. All right, so anyway, that's how you would connect that. But if you wanted to, let's say, maybe something like this. I have a port adapter. I think I need a splitter. All right, so anyway, I can't power this way. Nope, it won't power that way. Ah, nope, that's not. I guess I do have power, sort of. But that's not going to work because that's USB-C. So many different things. I just want to put this into some power. 1 second. I'll be back. Alexa, what time is it?
Good afternoon, Samara. The time is 2:47 p.m.
It's the wrong time. Yeah, this would work unless I piggybacked it from a USB-C to USB-C, right? So I have this power out, but power in is USB-C. Unless I did the connection via, let's see. Nope. Nah, it's not gonna work. Anyway, I'd have to disconnect something, but I have that connected, disconnected, and there are so many things connected. So anyway, on that note, all in all, it's a good drone. It's great. So much for that part. Don't have an external. I do have a battery pack. I do have this. There we go. Except this isn't charged. I should charge this. I'm surprised this died. It's been a while since I've actually used that. Bummer. It's not charged. So I'm going to charge this in the meantime. Right. And then I have adapters somewhere. Anyway, the drone works. I'm not worried about that part. It did take, it's intact, everything except that one part that holds the gimbal in place. And thankfully the gimbal is in excellent condition other than me touching it and creating smears and smudges. It's good. All right, so now you see how difficult it is to access the unit if you want to adjust your PIDs, right? So good luck with that. So we can pull this out. Oh my God. Good luck with that too. So because it's at such a tight angle that even that's hard. Damn it. Holy crap. Maybe, but as you can see, it's not easy even though I cut it. So you need a short, super shorty short, shorter than that, USB connector, micro, I believe it is. So that's that. So let's say, hey, I want to get those pictures because maybe you use this for some indoor real estate shoot and you want to get the footage, right? So you're like, oh, can I get the footage from the video? And then what do you tell your client? I'm sorry, I can't, but I have a really cool, I don't know, whatever. So that makes it more challenging in that sense because you're not going to be able to get your stuff off. So let me show you how you would get off your, let me just make sure everything is here. I'm going to reverse engineer it for you so that you guys know how to get your stuff back on and off, okay? Because this thing was a pain to put back together. So we have here, that's one screw. So this is how you would access the O3 air unit. Let's say it's an update. Let's say you got your part 107 and 6 months from now, you want to install a remote ID, and the prices are $10 for your remote ID. Well, this is part of what you would have to do to take the unit apart just to get to the area that needs to be taken apart, so you can maybe desolder it. But the whole unit has to come apart if you actually wanted to do that, if that makes any sense. So now we almost got the back off, right? Back off. All right, so now what happens is this part comes apart. See this? Watch. See? Voila. But you can't pull it all the way out because the O3 connector, the connection to your O3 air unit is right there. So you'd actually have to pull that out, right? So that you can pull out by hand. So this is just to pull it out so that you can actually access it partially. And that was a pain to put in. So now I could pull it out more, can I? Nope, I can't. And do you want to know why? Because the antenna, which is a bummer. So now, because that's, remember I had to put the antenna in, right? So you have to squeeze the antenna in. So first what you have to do is pop the antenna out, right? Push it in a little so you have some leverage or leverage, right? So now the antenna, but you have to push this back in, right? Just push it back in so it can be in there. So now what you have to do is pull out the battery strap. Oops. After the battery strap is pulled out, there are four things holding it together. 1, 2, 3. These right here. Okay. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So those 4 have to come out. This is when I wish I had an electric screwdriver. Okay. Not that one. Is it this one? No, let's use this one. The one that we use for the DJI Avata. I'd say either get the Avata or the GEP RC 20 or 25. So once you unscrew, see this side? Whoops. These are all the same. So, okay. And then once you unscrew this side, this is the battery strap holding together. Then you have to pull the unit out, right? And after it's pulled out, then you can undo the antenna from the O3 air unit, right? From the O3 air unit. And then disconnect it. But you also have to disconnect the O3 air unit from its main connection, right? And if you saw my other video. So it's a little complex. And you know, if you crash this thing, let's say you crash, it broke, I didn't have the gimbal protector on, and I broke the O3 air unit, and I think it's $100 or something, I forget what it is. It's kind of pricey, but it's better than buying a new O3 air unit. You can replace the gimbal for a slight fee. But if this is the same process you would do if you wanted to replace the gimbal, you won't have to do that with the GEP RC because it comes with the gimbal built and it's protected. So now we have that part. So now that we unscrewed all that stuff, right? Now you have to unscrew, not really unscrew, see the bottom just falls right out, see? And there's my O3 air unit, voila. So that's one way to do it, you know, to feed it in, feed it out. And so there it is right here, see? And so that's how you would put in the O3 air unit. But there's more. You have that, right? So now let's just put blue tape on, because I like to keep the front as the front and the back has the back, because you're not free and clear just yet, because in order to remove the O3 air unit, we're gonna have left and right, you have to unscrew your antenna. So that would be left, and this way I know which way it goes back in, because and you have to be careful. I have to leave soon. You have to be careful because I will show you in a second. because these things right here, if you pull it all wrong, right, they fall out. Like you see this? These things, okay? So take a look at that and just know how these go in, okay? So the front go this way, front go in, and the sides go out. See that? And there's always one or two that are hard to come out, and they don't really have to come out, but unfortunately sometimes if you take it apart, see, now I have this out, and like, oh, just remove the gimbal. Nope, doesn't work that way. Well, you could do this, right? There you go. And now, after removing one, now you've removed your gimbal antenna, you remove the O3 air unit. And so that's how you would basically put in the O3 air unit, right? But now, while it's open, this is actually a good opportunity for you to flash it if you need to get into your, your PID rates and all the other stuff. It's a beautiful drone, but the only downside is that it's, the gimbal protector and is not in a secure, it's not fiberglass. I think they should make that out of fiberglass, and that would be phenomenal. And also put underneath, because now, remember, what's holding it together is that you have to screw this, take the screws out of the O3 air unit in order to put this plate on. It would be nice if this plate came with a little bit of foam, like the GEP RC 20 and I believe 25, so that when you crash, for the new guy, it doesn't take that big of an impact. But other than that, so what happens is you have to actually unscrew this, and it doesn't come with a key, so you have to have an Allen key set. Allen's not here today. Hey, Alexa, can you call Allen?
Which contact?
Never mind, forget it. Never mind, forget it. It's like Allen, when you need an Allen key. Like which size, which Allen, right? Even Alexa didn't know which Allen to call. Oops. Never mind, forget that. It might be a trigger. Hopefully your phone doesn't start, your Alexa doesn't start calling Allen. So these are the O3. The longer ones are the O3 air unit. Which is great. I like that. I like that little dumbwaiter type experience where the O3 air unit is somewhat secured in this fiberglassic experience, which is kind of cool because it protects it to some extent, but it's still got the protection. It's not like the Pavo20 or the Pavo, Pico version 1 and 2, where it's not protected. It crashes on the battery, and it's in a plastic frame. So that part is good, but I think also this gives you a lot of power. So if you're not used to that much power, wait with flying this. But as you can see, you remove this screw, that screw, and also the screw holding that plate, right? And then you and then you put that plate on that holds on the O3 air unit. And I'm going to put this back together in another video so that you guys can, who get this and want to see. And another way to do it is you can take that out too. This is the unit you could replace if you broke your gimbal. Thankfully I didn't, because I was protected, and I looked through the O3 air unit and it was fine, which is great. So we'll just put this here. So the frame kit's replaceable, everything's replaceable. So what you do is you slowly, gently pull that out, see? And that comes out. So if you ever break this is replaceable. Expensive, but it's cheaper. Preventative is always cheaper than damage control. You always remember that, so that you don't, it's about a $5 fix to get a new, or even less for a UV protector. Oh yeah, here's the UV protector. It's a regular piece of glass. See? piece of glass that broke instead of the, or put more time in the simulator, and then you don't have to worry about anything. So that's that. So this is the teardown, semi-teardown. The motors are powerful. Nice flight, nice flying, but they could, you know, I wouldn't use plastic parts to hold the gimbal protector. And I'm not saying that because I crashed it. I'm saying that also because I got spoiled based on my previous experience on a cheaper drone, right? That costs less than that, flies better than that, and comes with the O3 air unit built in. So I was like, wait, what happened? So I was like, I was totally blindsided. I did not think that would happen. So as you can see, with the GEP RC version 20 and version 25, it's a powerful drone. Motors are somewhat comparable, but as you can see, and I'll show you here, the O3 air unit is tucked in and surrounded, by fiberglass, so that when you do crash it, you know, you might just break the UV protector, but it's surrounded by fiberglass, not plastic. You know, I think you mean not plastic, that will just break. Because I was looking forward to getting it up again. No pun intended. But yeah, and with this drone, you know, previously you have to watch out because these are made of plastic, but even the prop guards, right? Even though they're made of plastic, you can still get many more flights out of them when you crash it, because it just holds really well and it's just like cracked, but sustainable. But the frame on the Pavo, Pavo 25, it's yeah, so you see, so that's what happens if you pick up the frame ROM on the Pavo 25, which is fine because I know exactly where they go, but look out when you take it apart, and then you take it apart so you don't, you know, lose your settings. And actually, this is how they go on. See, like that. No, that ding you heard was these things. So now I know, but I know which way is left, remember, and which way is right. So you always want to make sure you do that when you take it apart, because these can only go one way, and then you'd have to pull them out and reverse it. So there you have it. The Pavo 25. The good, the bad, the ugly. Is it a good drone? Yes. Is it a great drone? I don't know. You know, you decide. Is it a good first drone? It could be, but if it was going to be my first drone, it would probably be the Pavo Pico or the GEP RC as my level up. Only because, you know, if you're going to crash accidentally, that part's going to fall apart. And again, I'm still flying the GEP RC, crashing it, no problem. And the gimbal is holding. And even the Pavo Pico in the video, before I got the FP unknown rates, when I crashed it into the roof, nothing. It's sustained. You know, like, but I don't think it was going as fast. It could be the motors. I did nick one of them, that one right here, but it's you know, I don't think that it's going to affect your flight drastically. But it is a beautiful drone, and you know, maybe I'll sell it. And I actually might order the part to fix. I think I found one at Alibaba or Alibi or whatever it's called, and fix it, the part, get it working again, and sell it. I would rather sell this and get the Pavo 25. That's how you know, confident I am in my flying skills and crashing skills experience, to know that unless they change this part, because remember, this is the Pavo 25 version 2. Version 1 was, I guess, a little bit different, but that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Okay, you can go. The video's over. Now I just have to put this back together. In another video, though, I actually have to go. I really do have to go. And I'll be back. I'll be back maybe later on tonight.